Good afternoon, or good morning, Tigers. Today we'll be watching a video on Quizzette 728. Please write your last name, comma, first name, today's date, and then, let me see, 13/12. I think today's the 11th. Going to circle your class color. Today I'll say I'm yellow. Let's see number 1. We're going to do a big class activity on Thursday on circles, and I'm really excited about it. So for now, I'm just going to teach you the basics. Whenever you see the word circumference, that just means like perimeter of circle. So go ahead and underline the word circumference and write perimeter. Sorry, that should be an I. It's really hard for me to write small with this Apple pen. But find the circumference. Oh, and it says and area. I actually just caught that. I've been doing this Quizzette all day and I have not noticed that. So find the circumference and area of the circle. Use 3.14 for pi. And they give you, well, basically, here's the circumference. The circumference is everything that's outside of the circle. So it's like the perimeter, right? Whereas the area would be everything inside the circle. The circumference is just what's like around it. Now they give you the radius, which is this part right here. But you need the diameter. And the diameter, the nice thing is that you can figure out the diameter and the radius when you are just given one or the other. You can always do it. Because the green part, the diameter, is just double the radius. So if you double 4.5, or if you add 4.5 to 4.5, let's see, you get 9.0, or you could just write 9. The diameter is 9. And I know that's hard to see because I chose green. If you need me to clarify what it says, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll try and clarify it. The equation for circumference is C, circumference, equals pi times D for diameter. Now, I have a friend that has a good strategy with how to memorize this, and I don't care how you feel about cherry or pie or cherry pies or cinnamon pie. I don't care, or carrot pie. This is just a strategy to try to remember the formula, okay? If you ask me, I hate all kinds of pies, so I really don't care. But this is how you memorize it. You just think to yourself, cherry pie is delicious. And then when you want to find area, apple pies are 2. That's the formula for area. But right now, the only thing you need to focus on is circumference, which is the outside part of a circle. And this is how you find circumference. C equals, what is pi equal to according to the real world? It's equal to 3.14. It's always 3.14. And then you're going to multiply it by your diameter. And in here, you found your diameter to be this right here that I boxed, 9. So you go to your calculator and you type in 3.14 times 9, and that is your total circumference. Your answer is 28.26. Now your area, if you were finding your area would be 3.14 times your radius times your radius. Times your radius is 4.5 times 4.5 times 4.5. Now, if you were to do that in a calculator, I'll tell you what that answer is right now. The answer here is 63.585. That's the area. Now, for number 2, it's asking you what the volume is. And when you find the volume, you're going to multiply the base times the height times the width. So it's like area, but instead of having 2 numbers, you're going to have 3 different numbers. Here you have 6 times 9 times 7. 6 times 9 is 54. And then you have to multiply it by 7. 54 times 7. And that's going to tell you what your volume is. You can solve that on your own. Make sure you box your answers. Number 3, It says the polygons in each pair are similar. Find the missing side length. The missing side length is clearly x because everything else has a number. The word similar can also mean proportional. When you thought of proportionality, you also thought of ratios. So let's think about our first example. So if I was going to write my ratios out, I could write my first ratio is 2 to 8, and my next ratio is 5 to x. So my first ratio is 2 to 8, and my next ratio is 5 to x. You can set them equal to each other because if they're proportional, that means that they reduce to the same number. So they're equivalent. They're equivalent ratios. Then that means that you can use your strategy of cross multiplying. 2 times x is 2x. 8 times 5 is 40. Divided by 2, that's 1. X is equal to 20. So this missing number would actually be equal to 20. Or you can do it an even easier way than that. Some of you might forget how to do this. Just look here. 2 has to be multiplied by what number to get you 8? 2 times what is 8? 2 times what is 8? Okay, now think about 5 times that number is, boom, you found the answer. So, if you still don't know what I'm talking about, 2 times 4 is actually 8. 5 times 4 is, in fact, 20. So you could have just put 20 there. But this number right here is also considered the scale factor. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Here you go. Scale factor is actually 4. So you're going to get a check for telling me what x is, but you're also going to tell me, you're going to earn a check when we grade this, when you tell me the scale factor. Now, number 3 is a little bit more complicated, so let's try number 3 nice and slow. It's saying that they're similar, so yay, they're proportional. In other words, ratio. Find the missing side length. So here, if I write my first ratio, I have 12 to 3, and my next ratio is 20 to x. Set them equal, cross multiply. That's 12x is equal to 60. Divide both sides by 12. And that's x is equal to 5. But let's see if we can do this in our heads. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So yay, it checks out. Now the scale factor here is not 4. Here it was 4 because you multiplied. But here, since you're dividing by a fourth, you're actually, in a way, you're multiplying by 1/4. So the scale factor is actually 1/4. Good luck on this Quizzette, Tigers.